Hello and welcome back. Today I'll be going over a topic that has been on my mind for a while ever since I found out about Stable Diffusion and its other applications. Specifically, DreamBooth is a technology that allows us to train on images and later use the associated token to insert that image into a new style, pose, composition, or even existing art. Thus, it really got me thinking. How does this change the playing field for not only art in general, but memes as well? As such, in this video, I will be doing a deep dive into accessibility and ease of creating meme art. Before we continue, as always, this is the final piece. There's also timestamps if you want to skip around to see the various processes. This will be more of a lighthearted video, but still chock full of information. The common tongue of English is slowly being replaced with the vernacular of memes, and it's our responsibility as human beings to adapt. Not everyone speaks the same language, but everyone speaks memes. In the same vein, I thought it was best to start from the meme classics. I believe this image, Distracted Boyfriend, was a very classical piece during the meme renaissance. I will be attempting to recreate this template in the context of the critically acclaimed MMORPG, Final Fantasy XIV, and its newest expansion, Endwalker. If you didn't know, you can play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 for free with no restrictions on playtime. What a deal. Here I am in the Windows subsystem for Linux. I'm going to run DreamBooth through here. I've already tested it out once using renders of my Jester sculpture. Here are the images for that. I was also able to successfully convert it into a model checkpoint that could be used by Automatic 1111's repository. All of this was accomplished through following the Shivam Sri Rao's repository as well as Nerdy Rodent's video guide. I'll link his video in the description. Please follow his channel to learn more about machine learning and AI art. Anyway, to outline the process, there are 3 figures in the Distracted Boyfriend meme. The main character, his present girlfriend, and his future wife. I will be training DreamBooth so it recognizes the Final Fantasy XIV characters, namely the Warrior of Light, Meteion, and Venat. First, I'll start training on Meteion. So I've already prepared images here in this folder, training Meteion. And yeah, I got these images from various image boards. I converted them to a square 512 by 512 size using the preprocess tab or the preprocess function in Automatic's textual inversion tab. I've also already created an executable.sh file as well. All I have to do is execute it. So this is the sh file. I'll be using the previous model I generated from my Jester sculpture training. And then something to notice here is that in the instance prompt, it's an illustration of SKS, and then after that you have your token that if you want to reference this trained image or this name later on in your checkpoint, you have to put that here. And for my class prompt, I have an illustration of a girl. Okay, so let's go ahead, check this ls, and then the sh file is meteion.sh. like so, and then enter, and it should start running. So the Meteion training has completed, and now I'll be going on to train on Venat. So I've already prepared my training images here already. They're cropped to 512 by 512 in the same process, Automatic's textual inversion tab, pre-process images. And yeah, going to find, I already created a Venat .sh file and made it executable as well. So put that in. Now execute venat.sh and it should go the same way. Also, make sure after SKS you put the prompt token, or you put the token that you want to refer to this trained subject as. Now generating class images. See you guys when it's done. So the Venat executable has finished, and now it is finally time for the Warrior of Light or Paladin. I've prepared the dataset the same way as always, and here are some images of him. So yeah, last one. And whoops, oh, I didn't. Oh, I restarted my Ubuntu shell, so yep. Here we go. So it looks like the training has finished for the Warrior of Light Paladin training. And if we look here on the left in my code editor, there's a model meme WOL. And now all I have to do is convert this to a checkpoint file that can be used in automatic 1111's repository. So if you follow Nerdy Rodent's video, he shows you how to get this convert to checkpoint Python file. And if you add the tag --half, you can do that. Also, I need to fix my script a little. Okay, let's put that in. And it's doing the conversion right now. And it's done. So let's try it out now. So here I am in the web UI. First of all, if I want to test if this is working, go into settings and then make sure I choose the right checkpoint. So I called mine ffxiv, and then remember to apply settings. Then in your command log or console, it'll say that loading waits. So remember I called my Paladin, Warrior of Light Paladin, like this. So I'm just in text to image. I want to see if it's working. Euler 50 CFG. Okay, and then I'll do full body portrait of that and see if it's working or not. And look, we got something amazing, isn't it? Here we are in Photoshop. To start with, this is the base meme template, and I'm going to do this sequentially and separately. So the main character is going to be the Paladin or the Warrior of Light. So I'm going to quickly select him using not the magic wand, but the other one, quick selection tool. Yeah. Hopefully I get a pretty decent selection. Seems to be going well so far. Then now I'm going to mask it. Okay, and make sure this is also masked. And yeah, looks like we got our selection here. And to make this a little bit more clear, I'm going to make a background layer and paint bucket. Yep, there we go. So this is going to be going into image now. Here we are back in the web UI. So the plan is to use image to image, and that's why we created those masked out characters. So here we go. I put in the base person. Oh, also, one thing to mention is make sure on your checkpoint you're in the checkpoint where you trained whatever character you wanted. For me, it's the Warrior of Light, and it's an illustration, maybe a painting of Final Fantasy XIV, Warrior of Light, Paladin, looking over his left shoulder. Let's start very simple for now and see if we get something interesting. If we get what we expect, which should be the paladin looking over his left shoulder. Okay, CFG, I want this to adhere pretty hard, so like 15, 16. And I don't want to denoise it that much, so let's go. Generate. Okay, so we have something that resembles. The face could do with some actual work. And it's also a little bit too low res, which can also be fixed. We just scale it up. Like so. And we can start modifying this image to image with something that we want. I started generating a few sample Warrior of Lights, and I found this one that was pretty good. I was just doing it really quickly, 512 by 704, and rather than doing batch count, I just wanted to quickly see if my prompts were giving me something right. So the strange thing is I'm using the Warrior of Light checkpoint, but I'm using a Damboru style tag, and it apparently kind of helps, I guess. Like, it's giving me this, and there's no aberrations in the anatomy, which is, maybe I'm lucky, maybe it's weird, but the seed is this, so I'm going to generate it right now at a higher resolution. And I'm on the Venat checkpoint, and nothing changed that much, just changed the token, and she should have a disgusted expression. So for now, I'm just going to go with batch count of 1 to see where I'm at on this. Not so great. Maybe a few more tries will help. Or maybe the class token is wrong. I'm not sure. I think it is Venat. I'm going to check on text to image. Just to make sure that I'm getting the same. I'm pretty sure it is her though, right? Okay, so yeah, the checkpoint is working correctly. Okay, so I kind of got something that's like kind of funny. I kind of like it, so I'm just going to keep it. I think I might just recolor her hair in Photoshop or something. Lastly, we don't want to forget the star of the show, which is Meteion. So I'll load in her image here, her base image. And for the prompt, I'm going to just copy over Venat's, but yeah, also I have to change my checkpoint to Meteion's checkpoint. Ooh. Generate a few more. The color is probably influencing her clothes. I might have to take this back into Photoshop and change the color of her shirt. Otherwise, we might get these random things here. Like this random red color. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to fix this. Here we are back in Photoshop. I want to change the color of this woman on the left's shirt because it's impacting the image to image too much. I've already made a duplicate like so, and I'm going to create an adjustment layer, hue saturation, then clip that down. And next I'm going to just change the hue and find something. I'll later mask out the I'll mask out the changes, so don't worry. Get something close, like a bluish color, I believe. Maybe a little darker. Okay, and it's very easy to fix the shirt problem, or like how it's impacting the entire figure. It's a magic wand, and then you can just fill this with black, and then you just invert it, Control I. So like that, and there you go. Your shirt color is changed more or less. Back in the web UI, we're going to put in the new image. So there's blue instead of a red shirt, and same settings, generate. Why is this so funny to me? So this is an image that I got from Image to Image on this photograph of the Grand Canal. I wanted a low angle shot, but I really couldn't get one, so I'm just going to take this back into Photoshop and zoom in on this far thing, this street in the far off distance. And yeah, I'm just generating another one for fun, just to see what I can get. Okay, so I've brought this image back into Photoshop. I'm going to crop it down and then put it back into image to image once again because I didn't really like the perspective of this. It's a little too, how do I say, fish eye, I guess. But yeah, I'll do some cropping, but first I want to figure out which one I like better. Do I like this side? Or do I like this side? It seems a little flatter. I think I'll go with this one, the left side. So grab your crop tool, start cropping like so. Oops, don't want to do that. I want to get it as flat as possible if I could. Go ahead and press enter, see what I have here. Almost. It's almost resembling the original image from, or the base template. I think something like this should maybe be fine. Is that too much? One more try. Okay, I think this is good enough. Going to export it. I brought back the image into image to image here, and then I generated this from it. I recorded it earlier, but OBS didn't save it properly, so I'm just re-recording it to prove that yes, this works. I used the standard 1.4 model, and this is the prompt. So I like the perspective on this, and then it kind of outpainted it like so, and I took it into extras and then upscaled it. So this will be the base background for the compositing. I'm back in Photoshop now. I've set up my characters and the background in a similar fashion to the original meme template. So if we take out all these layers and groups, if we turn on the original meme template, we have that. And then first I matched the background, so it was kind of like a similar perspective. Doesn't have to be exact because we'll be applying a blur to it anyway. Now that I think about it, should be a little bit lower. Maybe like that. Let's check again. Maybe a little lower. Or actually, one second. Maybe I'll just stretch it a little, like so. Yeah, that looks better, I think. And then I have my characters. I've put them in groups. So first is Warrior of Light, like so. And then Meteion on the left. And then Venat over here. She should probably be up here. Like that. It doesn't really matter because I'll be applying masks now. Before masking out the Warrior of Light, I want to show that I actually have two versions of him. So this is the one that I showed earlier in the video. And then I have one on top, which has like a more interesting expression. It's more similar to the expression in the original template. So just try to match it up. Match up the heads at least, and so they're in the same position, and I can probably use a mixture of blending and masks to get them to match up. But first, I'll mask this one. So just an update on the masking process. I have two Warrior of Light images, and here. So this is the base one, and I changed the face to another one I like. Let me make sure this is consistent. Yeah, okay. And yeah, so, and then I copied the original layer back, the original base up here, just to make sure that everything's working fine. Because you don't want your hair to be here. If it's like this, that means there's light coming from this side on the right, which is not right, even though it's supposed to be like a more anime-ish image. We don't want to disregard the fundamentals. And now I'll go on to masking out Venat. This is just the base. Of course, I'll be coming back to all these characters and fixing them up. So we have Venat. Meteion over here. Alright, I made a copy. And yeah. Check with the original. Yeah, the woman on the right should be a little bit smaller. The woman on the left in frame. So I guess Meteion could be a little larger. She's actually not that tall, and Venat is actually taller. Much taller, but for artistic license sake, let's make our own decision. There's a few things that are wrong. First, I'll make a backup of this. So first, I'll just go by order and fix things that I don't think are right. First thing is this ear over here. Just try to use this the spot healing brush. Doesn't really seem to be helping. What I'll have to do is paint over this with the hair color, like so, and then merge it down, and now bring out the spot healing tool, which is not helping either. A little unusual. Maybe bring out the mixer brush. Technically, we'll see if this helps. No. Yeah, definitely not. Something else you can also do is duplicate this layer, move it around, like this, or like that, and then mask it, like so. Then you can paint in the other hair detail, like that, which is kind of a decent fix actually. Yeah, we'll see. I'll just merge that down for now. Next up is this armor part. That doesn't look right. Spot healing tool instantly fixes it. Doesn't work for that side though. It's not too important though. We'll just call it style and say, oh, it's blended in like so. Okay, what I did to fix the jaw area was I duplicated this and moved it around a little, and then used the mask to paint it back in. This. Alright, now we can another eye on the other side. You can draw one in if you want, like that. Or, so a trick that you can do is if you don't like drawing, like me, or you want to save some time, also like me, duplicate your layer, go here, select your eye, and then right click, layer via copy. So you get a copy of that layer, and basically, see? Wasn't that easy? If you look at it like so, kind of have an eye. Can also maybe flip it. I actually liked it in the other orientation, like there. And then now it basically becomes a matter of masking. So as always, Alt, click on the mask, use a brush. There's my hard brush, there it is. And bring the eye back in. Okay, oops. If things are farther away, like everything here, they become less, they have less of a value range. So the values become pretty close together. And characters that are in the front, like so, have a darker color range. So if you check this, or they should have a darker color range if they're closer, which is normally how it works. So these two characters have about the same value range, and this one should be a little darker. So, and also a thing to notice is this image is, I would say it's on the more desaturated end if you color pick around and look in this color window. It barely passes 50% on the hue cube, even in the background. Yeah, only this red shirt is more, or this red blouse is more saturated. I think that might be to just give more color perspective. So we have to keep this in mind when we're bringing that to our own image. So if we look at this, yes, Meteion is already like kind of fitting that saturation range. So I think this is fine. The Warrior of Light actually has parts that on his armor and his cape that are past 50% of the hue cube. So we're going to have to fix that with a adjustment layer. So lastly is to give some blur to the background like the original image. So go to blur gallery, tilt shift, and it'll start loading or updating. And I find like the default setting is pretty okay for me. This is almost completed, but there's one thing left that I want to go over. So I've already flattened everything into a single image on the top, and I have all these adjustments down here. But if you look more closely, it doesn't, like, this is a kind of an issue that happens when you composite things in differently or separately. Something that you may notice is that the characters feel like they're a little cut out and pasted on top of a background. Only Meteion really seems to have some decent blending. The other two characters don't really feel like they fit in the background, and they're more like cut and pasted in. So a trick to fix this is to first mask out your characters. Okay, so the reason why I did that is I just want to have a mask for now. And next, I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to eyedrop the diffuse color in the background. So it's probably like this kind of beige tone. I'm going to fill this layer. I'm going to put it on hard light. Bring down the opacity. And then I'm going to move this mask up. So it seems that it's only affecting the characters. So does that make sense? Like so. So this is before, this is after. You can bring down the opacity even more, just make it very subtle, and then you can choose to clean up the mask however you like. And if you're really adventurous, you can also do some blend if with this. So if you made it to the end, thank you for watching. I hope there were some informative parts for everyone. On a side note, I have a lot of unused process footage from this video that I cut out since it felt really dense and kind of repetitive. If it's helpful, I might upload it as a time lapse, but I don't know what other people want to see. My next video will probably be experiments comparing outputs from different combinations of Stable Diffusion models and other models, but again, I'm not sure yet. So it might be helpful for all of us if you could all let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next from this channel. whether it be more stable diffusion or AI assisted art in general, more lighthearted videos like this one, time lapses, or even 3D art. This might be surprising to hear, but I'm actually not a 2D specialist. I would say that my forte is in 3D concept sculpting and procedural art. Anyway, if it's within my ability, I'll try to make a video about requested topics. Thank you again and see you all soon.